ay isang miyembro po ng ating Judicial and Bar Council na representing the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and that is Maria Milagros Fernan-Cayosa. Good evening. Ngayon, yung proseso na ginamit ng Judicial and Bar Council, talagang makes it very transparent and really an improvement. Did you have anything to do with that, Mila?
Well, the transparency actually with respect to having a public interview, it has always been a public process.
Ngayon lang na-televise.
Televised, it was not allowed to be...
Bakit? Bakit ayaw nyung i-televise?
You know, it was not because we did what, but that was what was provided for in the rules.
Yung SCAW, Supreme Court Watch, hindi ba nag-advocate kayo na more transparency?
Yeah.
Ito ba isa sa inyong mga advocacies?
Yeah, in fact, it exceeded our expectations because when we talked to Chief Justice Puno then, ang concession lang niya was to put it on the web. Hindi free TV.
So agreed tayo na talagang transparent.
Another innovation, if you would want to call it, was that we allowed tweeting. So for the first time, when the two vacancies of the position of Associate Justice in the Supreme Court were being considered.
Ngayon, live na,
yes,
completely live. Okay, how did you bring it down from 22 to 8?
Yung listahan ng 20, no, binibigay sa amin. Tapos bago kami bumoboto, pinag-uusapan muna kung merong mga disqualifications.
Kagaya ni Laila de Lima na disqualify.
Yes,
meron bang pressure on you? Napakalakas daw ang pressure sa JBC na pwede ba wag i-disqualify si de Lima?
Okay, there was a request through Undersecretary Musni to consider suspending the rule. Tatlong aspeto kasi dun sa disqualification under Rule 4, Section 5 ng JBC Rules. One, yung tungkol sa may pending regular administrative case. Second, yung isang wes o miyembro ng judikatura na nagkaroon na ng penalty exceeding 10,000 pesos. Tapos those who have been convicted in
administrative case.
In administrative or in a criminal case. Ang main talaga na pinag-usapan nun was yung 10,000 na penalty. So if they wanted to bring down the threshold to 5,000.
Halatang halata na gusto ng ehekutibo, at least to the public, halatang halata. Did you feel that way, Totsi?
Yeah.
That there was a definite desire na magkakaroon na ipasok si Laila de Lima sa shortlist. All right. Ang sinasabi mo, Mila, na the only pressure that you felt was that the representative executive, si Musni, said, can we suspend? Anong sinabi niyo dyan?
Because he was saying that it's an unfair rule, especially if it does not involve the integrity of the person. But I said that when we discussed it, my position was that the IBP has already ruled that there is a prima facie case or merit to the disbarment case that has to be investigated.
Okay.
If ever they intend to change rules, it should be done after this process.
Okay. Meron bang pressure sa inyo na pwede ba siguraduhin na isama si Maria Lourdes Sereno?
No.
Wala at all.
Po.
So aside from the pressure to de Lima, there was no other pressure for Hardelesa or Ronnie Zamora? None. Okay. Ano ang reglamento o ano ang rules ng JBC tungkol sa results ng psychological evaluation?
Well, it is the psychological evaluation ay para lang tumulong sa aming mga miyembro para suriin kung may
posible bang problema.
Yes, kasi yung sinasabi natin psychological evaluation falls under competence. So kung may question dyan sa competence, mental competence, kumbaga, ng isang kandidato.
Okay. According to Manila Times, and nobody has said that 1 is talagang total, 1 and 2 are total pass, 3 is on the borderline, and 4 it's already the discretion of the JBC to qualify or not disqualified. In other words, it's not a pass.
I will have to disagree on that. No?
Hindi?
Because 4 can still be a passing.
As a teacher, as a grader, it's ridiculous to say 1 to 4 passes and 5 fails. If that is the case, then you either have a pass or a fail.
I think that would even be a good suggestion.
Somebody who gets a 1 and somebody who gets a 4, all other things equal, the one who gets a 1 in the psychological evaluation will, presumably be the one get the upper hand in terms of endorsement.
Sa Judicial and Bar Council, we have 2 resident psychologists who constantly update themselves. No, I mean they also attend.
Ayun ang resident psychologist.
Consultations.
And who is the one that gives the grade? Is it the psychiatrist or the psychologist?
The psychologists.
Give the grade. So the psychiatrists have nothing to do with it. This is just
No, they just they administer the test, and this is validated by the psychiatrist.
Dun sa inyong proseso, kasama ba ang pagtitingin sa SALN ng mga kandidato? Hindi ba?
Kasama
They have
po.
to give in?
Yes.
Okay. Ano ang nakita nyo? Itong SALN ng mga ni Chief Justice Sereno. Did you find her SALN sufficiently? In other words, there was no reason to believe na nagtatago siya o meron siyang undeclared wealth?
There was nothing that would be alarming to show that there would be a discrepancy between what they stated and what may have been reported to us by the banks. Because we were able to get...
nag-complain?
Wala naman po.
Wala naman nag-complain. Hindi kagaya nung panahon ni Corona, may nag-complain na hindi nyo pinansin. Di ba? During the time of Corona?
I can only take it from the records because I wasn't a member then, but yung sa records, meron talagang
nag-complain, pero binaliwala
not
ninyo. Alright. Sinabi ni Justice Sereno na ayaw niya na magkaroon ng spokesperson ang Supreme Court. Right? Because, in other words, the court's decisions must be read and must be read by itself. Nobody needs to translate. It's there in black and white. Do you agree with that as a lawyer?
I have to make a distinction on what the spokesperson would be talking about. A spokesperson should not second-guess the justices. If the justices should only be heard through their decisions, much less should they be heard through spokespersons.
That's right.
Pero in terms of administrative issues or matters within the Supreme Court, I think it would benefit from a spokesperson.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, yan yung actually, repercussion to nung nangyari, going back again to the old case wherein spokesperson Midas Marquez was accused of, interpreting court decisions on behalf of the justices na some justices even said spokesperson Midas Marquez was not articulating properly. But, during the time of GMA, there was a time when they returned the list.
She returned the list.
When the office of the president returned the list to the JBC.
What did the JBC do?
They sent it back.
Anyway, I just want to summarize that number one, what I think the message is that si Sereno was an excellent choice.
Yes.
You would have preferred Carpio, but Sereno was an excellent choice. And the only why would you have preferred Carpio, both of you? Because he was
the most senior.
The most senior. Is it possible that he did not have the same qualities as Sereno?
I think they exhibit both the qualities that would be ideal.
So it was essentially the president's choice.
Yes.
And you have both of you are optimistic that this lady is going to be able to run that Supreme Court very well, despite one, she's got to overcome the antagonism of her colleagues who are senior to her, and two, she has got to make sure that she keeps her independence from both the executive and the legislative. Ganun ba yun? Those are the challenges that are facing her. Ganun ba yun?
I think so. That true. I can only liken her position to how my dad was, because he also had 2 years in the court before becoming Chief Justice.
Okay.
And I'd like to think that he left a legacy with continuous trial, with the Speedy Trial Act later on, and then institutionalizing the PhilJA, all these innovations to improve the administration of justice. Because 2 years is enough time to immerse yourself in the workings of the Supreme
But he was the
Court.
most senior at the time.
Yes. Well, ultimately,
Yeah.
ultimately he became the most senior.
Yeah.
But because if the skepticism comes from the, like, she may
Coming
not be the
from
most, no, she may not be the most senior, and having only 2 years, I think 2 years would be enough time.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's a very hopeful note. So kayo mga kapuso, this is an analysis of kung ano yung pluses at saka yung mga minuses ni Chief Justice Sereno. And we have here two members of the bar who think that it is an excellent choice for her to become Chief Justice. And yung mga criticisms, baliwala na yan. Huwag kayong aalis dyan, mag-a-analyze pa tayo.